All right, boys, you see the title and thumbnail. I'm coming in 2024 with probably my most casual take yet. I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to submit Robert Whittaker in the first round, which is a pretty bold claim considering that Robert Whittaker hasn't been submitted since 2011. But I've been thinking about it. I've gone on record on this channel to say that Khamzat is overrated and that Whittaker was going to beat him. But after doing some research and thinking about it, I've changed my mind. You know, you're allowed to change your picks, and let me explain why. So let's get into the stats of Robert Whittaker's career, right? Middleweight career, because who cares what he did at 170. But if you look at his middleweight career, let's look at the guys he's fought. Clint Hester, couldn't take him down, right? Brad Tavares didn't try to take him down. And then he fought Uriah Hall, couldn't take him down. Rafael Natal couldn't take him down. Derek Brunson, he didn't take him down. Jacare got him down once, but he ended up finishing Jacare. Yoel Romero, they fought 2 5-round fights, and Yoel got him down 7 times in those 28 takedown attempts. Obviously, Adesanya, the first fight, no takedown shot. Then you look at the win versus Darren Till. Obviously, Darren Till wasn't going to shoot a takedown. Cannonier didn't try to take him down. Gastelum, 1 for 5 on takedowns. I don't think that takedown in that fight meant anything. Second loss to Adesanya. Obviously, Adesanya wasn't going to try to take him down again. Marvin Vettori, 0 for 1 on takedowns. And then Dricus took him down, obviously. And Paulo Costa didn't shoot takedowns, and Ikram didn't shoot takedowns. So that made Robert Whittaker's opponents 10 for 49 on takedowns, where 7 of those 10 takedowns coming from Yoel Romero. Now, why do these stats matter? I would say that people say that Robert Whittaker has insane wrestling defense, which I do think can be a little overrated. If you look at his list of opponents here, and there's not very many good wrestlers on this list. I mean, Clint Hester, really? Brad Tavares, Uriah Hall, Derek Brunson I know people say he's a great wrestler, but in the fight with Robert Whittaker, he just bum rushed him and then got KO'd. Jacare, not a good wrestler. Amazing grappler, not a good wrestler. Yoel Romero, Olympic silver medalist in wrestling, but he doesn't really use it. He's not really a dangerous grappler. He might take you down just for you to get right back up. And then who else? Gastelum took him down one time. But so when I look at Robert Whittaker's recent career, the fight that sticks out to me the most is the Dricus Duplessis loss. At the end of the first round with Dricus, Robert Whittaker was swept, and Dricus threatened to Darce and out-grapple Robert Whittaker pretty easily and handily, and then he finished him in the second round. Now, I think that as a community, we've overhyped Robert Whittaker's wrestling defense skills. And yeah, I don't think his wrestling defense is as amazing as people say. If you look at this list of fighters, there's not too many amazing wrestlers on this list that have tried to take him down. I mean, like 6 or 7 fighters on this list out of 15, 16 haven't even tried to take him down. So to say that he has some of the best anti-wrestling in the sport whenever no one's really attempting to take him down is, it's a little suspect. And I think Dricus showed that. Now, not hating on Robert Whittaker. I love Robert Whittaker, one of my favorite fighters. And seeing him knock out Ikram Aliskerov was incredible. One of my favorite moments of the year. But, I got to call it how I see it and how I think. So let's move on to Khamzat. Khamzat's UFC career, right? Comes in 2020. He destroys John Phillips. But who the hell is John Phillips? No one cares. Destroys Reese McKee. Literally no one cares. Knocks out Gerald Mearshart in 17 seconds, so no takedowns needed. Then he picks up Liang like a baby, carries him across the octagon, and submits him in the first round. Burns, he did take Burns down a couple times, but ended up being an all-out striking war, but he did win that. And against Kevin Holland, he shot a takedown immediately, pretty much fought forward until he got it and endorsed him. And then this is the win that sticks out the most for me for Khamzat. Now listen, I know he fought Usman on short notice, and a lot of people argued that fight was a draw, but look at what he did to Usman in the first round. Bro, he did what Colby Covington couldn't do in 2 fights. He took down Usman with relative ease in the first round and controlled him. I thought he was going to get the submission. He didn't. But I would argue that Kamaru Usman is a better wrestler than Robert Whittaker, especially if you look what Dricus did to Robert Whittaker. I think Dricus exposed that Robert Whittaker's wrestling defense isn't all as great as he did. And Robert Whittaker did say he was not underestimating Dricus Duplessis, so it's not like people can say, oh, Robert Whittaker underestimated him. No, he said before the fight, I'm not underestimating him. I'm taking him 100% serious. And I think if you look at those two things, and yeah, Khamzat Chimaev, now I'm gonna cope a little bit, so get ready. Khamzat Chimaev, he obviously has not been able to be healthy. And whenever he fought Kamaru Usman on short notice, people say Kamaru Usman won the second and third rounds. Fair enough. He stuffed a lot of the takedowns, and Khamzat slowed down a bit, but he still won the fight. Even if it's a Usman on short notice, Kamaru Usman's Kamaru Usman. Is one of the best fighters in the world. Was the pound for pound #1 fighter like a year or two ago. So I think if you take the first round against Usman and you look at how dominant he was in the grappling, you cannot tell me he's not going to march across that octagon and take Robert Whittaker down. I think that Khamzat Chimaev has overtrained and he's been plagued by illnesses. If you look, he's been brutally hospitalized like 2 times in like the last 2 years. There's videos and pictures of it from overtraining and just killing himself in the gym. And he said that he's going to dial it back, tone it down a little bit so he can make it to the fight healthy. And I don't know, man. Like I said, this might be the most casual take ever. I can't wait to see the comments on this one. But I think that Khamzat Chimaev is going to march across the octagon, take down Robert Whittaker, and I think he's going to submit him. That's what I think. I think if you look at the stats and the fighters that, let's go back to the Robert Whittaker one. Like I said, let's not overrate Robert Whittaker's wrestling defense and takedown defense. Look at the people who have shot takedowns on him. Not very good wrestlers. Like, who has he fought that's a great wrestler? Kelvin Tubby Man Gastelum, who's like 5'7" at middleweight. I know he's a wrestler, but Kelvin sucks. He has like 20 losses on his record. And he only got Whittaker. He got Whittaker down 1 time. Like, look at the fighters. Ikram, he knocked him out before he even tried to go for a takedown. Paulo Costa, he has no wrestling. Duplessis has wrestling. He took him down and threatened a submission and then finished him in the second. Marvin Vettori, Marvin sucks. Adesanya is a striker. Like, look at this list. Jacare, not a good wrestler. Derek Brunson, decent wrestler at the time, but he came throwing haymakers at Robert Whittaker and ended up getting KO'd. Rafael Natal, not a good wrestler. Uriah Hall, a striker. Brad Tavares, good anti-wrestler himself, but not taking people down really. And he didn't even try. Clint Hester, who's Clint Hester? So you get my point. I think it's easy to sit here and say, man, Whittaker is going to destroy Khamzat. Khamzat gasses out in 1, and if Whittaker can survive the storm. I don't think it's that easy. I think what people don't realize is that Whittaker has never faced a striker as dangerous and as relentless as Khamzat, who's going to march across the octagon the second the bell rings, and he's going to shoot a takedown, and if he doesn't get it, it doesn't matter. He's going to keep shooting until he gets it. And first round, Khamzat might be the most dominant fighter in UFC history. Look at his career. In the first round, he destroys John Phillips, which, who cares? Reese McKee destroyed him on the ground. Knocked out Jeremy Mearshart, of course. He destroyed Li Jingliang in the first round. Even Gilbert Burns, who's known as one of the greatest anti-jiu-jitsu grapplers, he took him down, and then he was like, nah, I don't want to play jiu-jitsu with Burns, so he ended up keeping it standing. Kevin Holland, who is a black belt, he took him down and smoked him on the ground. And then Kamaru Usman, obviously. No one does that to Usman. Look at Usman's whole career. Who's taken Usman down like that? Nobody. Leon took him down 1 time and he got back up. And then Colby kind of got him down and he got back up. So I think my point is, if you look at the wrestling of Khamzat versus the grappling defense of Robert Whittaker, I think that it's not crazy to say that Khamzat Chimaev will get Robert Whittaker down and he will get on his back. And how many times have you seen somebody on Robert Whittaker's back? Almost never. So how is he going to defend that? And yeah, we've never seen Robert Whittaker in a position with somebody on his back and how well he's going to defend. He's a karate blitz fighter who's been known to have good takedown defense, but like I said, who has tried to take down Whittaker? So I feel like his takedown defense has been a little overrated. You can't really say that Khamzat's takedowns are overrated because he's taken down every single opponent that he's fought. Every opponent, aside from Gerald Mearshart, because he knocked him out. But every opponent he's fought, he's taken down and pretty much dominated on the ground outside of Burns, which he ended up beating him in the stand-up. But yeah, and let's not forget he's also going to be healthier at middleweight, assuming he makes it to the fight healthy and not sick. He's going to be bigger, not weight drained. So yeah, I don't know if this is a hot take. I can't wait to see the comments on this one to see if people call me a casual for saying this, but yeah, I think Khamzat Chimaev is going to submit Robert Whittaker in round 1. And obviously, if he does, I think he's going to get a title shot against Dricus. And I don't have a prediction for that fight. Let's see what plays out between this fight. I do like Robert Whittaker, so if he does win, I'd be happy with him getting a title shot because I'd love to see a rematch with him and Dricus too. So I'm not delusional enough to say that there's no way that Robert Whittaker wins this fight. Obviously, if Khamzat comes in the fight and he gasses out in the first round, going for after getting Robert Whittaker down and not being able to submit him, I think that Robert Whittaker obviously could come back in the later rounds and bust him up to a TKO because he's tired. But I think, like I said, my prediction is that Khamzat's going to march across the octagon. He's going to get Whittaker down, get on his back, and then work his way probably to a rear naked choke, or maybe he pulls out a Darce because, I don't know, I feel like he can get a Darce. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if this is the most casual take I've had yet, considering I've said on this channel that Khamzat's overrated and Whittaker's going to beat him. I've changed my mind, so yeah. Let me know what you think down below. Thank you for 200 subscribers. Thank you everyone for watching and liking the videos. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one.